Okay guys, so it is Q4. We are going into the holiday season and I am manifesting at least 2 trips before the end is over. Of course, I'm a mom, they have school, so it'll definitely be domestic trips, probably family friendly trips. But how beautiful would it be to rock this robe from Nadula with the beautiful milk belt? Like, just think about it in like a Vegas hotel. I'm doing my makeup. How beautiful and sassy is this combination? The robe, champagne vibes with the glass of champagne, and then I even have the dust bag that matches and coordinates for my wig to, you know, live in when I'm not wearing it. I love the way Nadula gives such amazing gifts, but even more importantly, their hair is such an amazing quality. Today, I've teamed up with them to bring you this gorgeous girl. She is a pre-cut lace glueless wig, and I'm gonna install her for you for beginners. She did come pre-styled with the baby hair, again pre-cut lace. The middle part was already defined, everything was literally ready to go. So I did a little bit of a glueless install, and then we're gonna go ahead and define the curls. Today I did work with or use the wet brush. Now this is my daughter's wet brush, and I love this, but I've been seeing the unbrush as like the viral thing. I did go ahead and order one, but for now I kind of wanted to see how this one works compared to my staple holy grail, which is the Denman brush, and I will let you know in the video which one I like the most. So if you're interested in seeing the tutorial, the style, the curling products, and all of that, keep on watching. Okay ladies, let's get right into it. Absolutely in love with this packaging. I've been obsessed. Today we're going with a Kinky Curly 24-inch wig, and this one has the pre-cut and pre-styled baby hair. Here is a look at that kinky curly texture. This is also a look at the inside construction of the cap. This is a 7x5 invisible bye not wig, and this is what it looks like as we put it on. She does include an adjustable elastic band, so we anchor it on and then we go ahead and put the back on as well as the front. I was pleasantly surprised by the look, the fit, the baby hair, and everything about it. It definitely lays flat, and you definitely get that beautiful 7 inches of parting space going back. Here is what it looks like from the back. I believe this one is 24 inches in length, and of course there is a direct link in the description box with all of the details on this wig. So step one for me is just to pull the hair back, and I'm going to go ahead and secure my own edges. Although this one is a kinky texture, so it'll blend beautifully with my edges. It's just nice. It just looks a lot more neat and clean when your edges are slicked back, super nice. And then I went ahead and cut off a little bit of lace on the side just so that everything can fit flat and glueless once we melt it. Now I'm going to go ahead and just tint the lace. Typically this is the last step I do, but here I was trying out a newer lace tint. You guys know I love the Ruby Kisses foundations as lace tints on my hairline, but this one is one in, I believe, the darkest or even maybe the second to darkest, if not the darkest shade. So I wanted to make sure it wasn't too dark, and as you guys can see, you can definitely tell it's darker and a little bit more cocoa than my complexion. So I wanted to apply it first and then add the non-glue adhesive on top. That way it can kind of like get wet a little bit and melt with the product, if that makes any sense. And I was hoping that it would give it more of a realistic and flawless look. I went ahead and added the melt belt on top, and while that goes ahead and dries and sets and does its work, let's go ahead and work on the length of the hair. So we are working with 24 inches in length. It definitely looks shorter because, as we already know, the shrinkage is real when it comes to curlier textures, especially Kinky Curly. We're going to be using this mousse today, and she comes from Herbal Essence. This one is super affordable, so I was just trying her out, and I believe this was like my first or second time with this product. Now, as you guys can see, it's a lot different than like the Nairobi. It kind of like when it comes out, it gets very like big and cloud-like, but that cloud will literally stick together and not just like liquefy instantly. So when you apply it like on top of the hair directly, it will like sit on top and fall off. So I learned with this one just to kind of like put it in my hand and push it in, or if I'm gonna apply it directly, you have to immediately like kind of like press it in to dissolve it a little bit. Now I did like this one. It wasn't watery. It definitely had like a product base to it, but since it's a Kinky Curly texture, you definitely, in my opinion, would want to use a cream product with your mousse if you're going to use mousse, just because again, the kinky curlier textures do require a little bit more moisture to tame, just like the kinkier curlier textures as far as like my hair or, you know, like natural brown girl hair. So here I wanted to try something a little bit different. Typically I would use a dimming brush, and today I am using a wet brush. Now I've mentioned this before because I've used this a few times on my channel, but this particular brush is a part of my daughter's collection. They have the Tiana one, and then they have this one, which I believe she's Snow White or she's Cinderella. I think she's Snow White. The Tiana one is in their drawer, and this was the other. So I kind of put this in my stash of hair stuff just to kind of get familiar with it and see if I like it. Here is a close-up of what it's doing to the curls. I love the way it defined the wave pattern, and as you guys can see, the hairline did have time to melt and dry and bond down and all of the above, and I do like the way it came out. I also like the way like the parting came out. It's super simple, flat, flush, but it definitely kept that beautiful wave pattern. So I'm going to set it off by tinting the lace, and this here is a Ruby Kisses foundation palette. And then after that, I did go ahead and play with the baby hair. Because this one comes with the pre-styled baby hair, it does come like molded in a way that it kind of like is not gonna just move when you comb it. So you can add like a little bit of mousse to it and that'll loosen it up. And obviously it came that way because in packaging you don't want them to say like, oh, we're giving you pre-styled baby hair, and then it's like loose and feathery, and then through the shipping and handling process it kind of will move around. It has to stay molded, you know, in order for it to arrive to you as so. So again, I added a little bit of mousse, a little bit of edge control, and styled it how I like it. You can definitely cut it shorter or switch it up, thin it out if you like, but this is the finished result. I'm doing my makeup off camera and we are ready to go. Okay, so we are done with the makeup. I was gonna say we're done with the look, but let's kind of pull it together so you can see what it's given and tell me how I look. I went ahead and did my makeup, and actually the hair itself had time to dry because the whole family is home except for Dakota. Diamond had a tummy ache, so he convinced me to let him stay home. The tummy ache officially magically gracefully disappeared. Everyone was home, so they were all in my bed, which is adjacent to where I'm sitting. So we had a good little powwow, but time to get back to work, and they're gonna go get Coxie Boo from school. But this is the look, and this is what it looks like when the hair begins to dry. Now of course this hair is nice and full, so in the center you can still feel it being a little bit damp, but you can get a gist of like what the hair looks like when you come up close. I love like the wave or like wavy texture that you get in the lace area, and then it comes down and it turns into these beautiful curls, and it gets a little bit more fluffy at the ends, and I love that for me. Now if you want it to be a little bit more defined, you would definitely use the dimming brush, and that's like the difference between these two. The dimming brush has been like the GOAT for years. I bought these princess brushes for the girls maybe a year ago, 2 years ago. You guys can see they're literally falling apart. I have two of these, this one and I think the Tiana one, and I use these on the girls' hair, and where like when I detangle, they're both tender-headed, so when I detangle, this one kind of gives them, with natural hair of course, a little hard time. I gotta go a little bit slower, but with this one, like if I'm doing a quick ponytail or bun, I prefer to use this because they don't seem to mind. It doesn't hurt them, but it still will like detangle their curls and define the curls really nicely. So I decided to try this one out today with this hair to see if I noticed a difference, and I definitely do. If I would have wanted this hair to be a lot more defined, especially at the ends and kind of clump together and then get big, this was the way to go. But and I believe this is the wet brush brand. It's just the licensed Disney one. It does do a great job at detangling, but again, it doesn't hold the clump. The clump is for the dimming brush. The kind of like beautiful big separated curls is that one. Hopefully that makes sense. If you have the two, let me know your experience. Is it the same or am I doing it wrong? I love how big and fluffy this one is, but again, how defined the actual curl pattern is, and just how beautiful the curls are. As I did mention, this one did come from Nadula, and Nadula always has my back when it comes to a beautiful wig, but also great packaging. I've been loving these holographic bags that they've been providing. It's super nice and really good quality because not only is it the bag, but it does have buttons in there. You get the Nadula logo on one side, and then there's no logo on the back. This is the box that was inside, and then we've of course got some good stuff in here. It says, don't quit, don't stop, don't give up, keep moving. As I always say, this is a great quote to live by because especially in 2023, it doesn't matter how old you are, unless you're like my kids' age, life be lifing. Now this one I'm super excited because it felt extra heavy, and for a good reason. At the very bottom there's a pack of the HD wig caps, and then it have this beautiful little set here, but this here is the melt belt, and it just says Nadula all around in that tan with the black writing, and they gave me a robe to match. Now this probably is my favorite robe from a company just because the color gives like champagne, it gives rich, it gives vibe, it gives elegance. So this is a perfect set to not only just wear around my house, but because I already have this set from a previous collaboration, I could take this straight out of this packaging and put it into my carry-on. And then also they gave me this mesh bag, and inside of course are the usual goodies, which if you're an OG, you've seen these bags before from Nadula. They give me the HD wig caps in here, and this is the second pack that they provided. Another melt belt, but this one is cheetah print. And then this here is just a nice pair of mink lashes, as well as a travel kabuki. So honestly, these are all items that kind of can get you in the mode of vacationing. And then when I thought I was done, at the very bottom of the bag was also a dust bag, and this of course is home for your wig. So if you're traveling, you of course can use this, and it again pairs well with the robe and the melt belt. Also, I want to say that I do love the fact that this was a very easy install, super nice wear and go wig with the pre-styled baby hair. You don't have to do much of anything at all, and I think I blended the hairline amazingly. So of course I have it linked in the description box. You can definitely go ahead and check it out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and share with your friends. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Smooches.